House. And by the way, thank you, American House, for hosting tonight. All right, Christy.
Our pleasure. It's very easy when it's just on a computer screen. So my name's Christy. I know some of you and others I don't think I've met before. I am one of two community relations directors at American House, formerly Bentley Commons. Pete Smith is the other.
Hi, everyone.
So if you're not familiar with us, we offer independent and assisted living apartments in a renovated mill building on Water Street in Keene. We're within walking distance to Main Street, and it's sort of an all-inclusive feel. So we include 3 meals per day, all utilities, housekeeping, so they don't have to worry about cleaning, maintenance, transportation, wireless internet, cable. I'll stop listing things, but basically pretty much everything is included, so folks don't have to worry about extra expenses. We have a concierge here, and that person keeps an eye on the front door. They give out activity schedules to residents, and they're there every single day until 8 p.m. We also have a full-time exercise physiologist, Jackie Brown, who gives several exercise classes each week. And she also meets with new residents coming in, does a one-on-one assessment to see what their fitness goals are, because one of the main goals here is getting folks as strong and independent as they can be, keeping people moving. We also have hosted the Swamp Bats each year. Their first dinner with their host families. They all get to meet here in person normally. And then we bring our residents to the Swamp Bats games throughout the summer. So we're looking forward to when that can happen again. We love to celebrate birthdays and holidays. You can see Pete's got a festive tie on. I don't know if you can see that. And we like to dress up. We like to bring joy to all of our residents. Yesterday we had some healthy green smoothies, and today it's shamrock shakes for everyone. That balance. And on that note, I'll turn it over to Pete, who has some fun St. Patrick's Day trivia to get the ball rolling.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I have my nice, Christy bought this for me today, so thank you, Christy. So it's great to see everybody. Again, I know a lot of you and some I don't, but we'll get to know each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm staying in the spirit of St. Patrick's Day. I've done some research and I've come up with 6 trivia questions. Some are more difficult than the others, but what we're going to do, I'll read the question. If you know the answer, type it in your chat box, and the first person that gets the answer correct will be entered into a raffle. And we have a gift card for Brewbakers, and then we'll be drawing that later, not tonight, but then we'll reach out to you through email and let you know if you were the lucky winner. So we will begin. Is everybody ready for their Irish trivia? Okay, so here's number 1 question. What does the circle at the very center of a Celtic cross represent? Anybody? Type it in if you know it. No, not unity, infinity, I'm sorry. We'll give it a few seconds to see if anyone else has a guess. Should we give them a hint, Christy?
I think Scott Ward got it.
Oh, there it is. There it is. We do.
I like unity, though.
I have Dave. Is Dave first or Scott? I can't tell. I see Dave over Scott. But we can just do both. How's that?
We'll enter them both in the raffle.
That's what I was thinking. So Dave, you guys got that one right. Nice, congratulations. Next question. What did St. Patrick supposedly chase out of Ireland? Yes, I saw someone got that really quick. Betty, I think it was. Betty or I'm sorry, D. Milbauer. Is that? I'm not sure your name. Is that Dave? Oh, can't hear. Anyway, so we'll get.
It's Dan. I've got it.
It's Dan. I'm sorry. Hi, Dan and Betty. Good job. You guys are quick. You're quicker than that for me. You're too quick for me. The third one. This is one of my favorites. One of my favorite actors. He shares my name, so that's a good hit right before I even say the question. What famous Irish actor played Lawrence of Arabia? Anyone? Anyone? Oh, there it is. Peter O'Toole. Who got that first? Looked like Karen Peterson. Karen Peterson, congratulations. Okay, these are fun. So we're going to go. We got a few more. What gives the Purple Mountains in Kerry their color? And let's see. Oh, you guys are quick. Let's see. I'll give you a hint. It's my wife's name. And it's not Prince. Lilac? Oh, Heather, Dave Kilpatrick. Again, right on. Yes, Heather is the correct answer. This is a tough one, so I'm not sure. You gotta have to really know Irish food, I think, to know this. But if you were eating a boxty, which is B-O-X-T-Y, a boxty, what would this be if you were eating it? What kind of food is it? You wanna know that? You guys have been perfect so far. Ooh, I think we stumped them. No, not a sandwich. I guess it could be a sandwich. Oh, wait. Oh, the baked potato is close. I think we got to give it to Miranda for potato. It's a Irish potato cake. So Miranda Hall, nicely done. And we have one more. Before lamb was used, what meat did an Irish stew traditionally contain? Go. Who got that? Looks like Karen again. Karen Peterson, you're all over it. Excellent. So those names that I listed, I have them down here. We'll enter them into a raffle and we'll get your information from Christine and Damaris and Nancy, and we'll reach out to you and let you know if you won. And I think at this point, Christy's gonna start us on our tour of the facility.
Yeah, I can't believe how quickly y'all got
Oh my
those
God.
answers. Pete and I were looking at the questions like, nobody's going to get these, are they? Apparently,
Smart crew.
Yes. So I'm going to share my screen and take you on a brief walkthrough of the community areas of our building. Coming down the hall here, this is our lounge, a cozy little area for residents to watch TV, gather. They can play cards here. We have a puzzle corner in this room as well. Continuing down the hall on our way to the theater room. There's more space for folks to get together in this room. We also show movies several times a week, which residents really enjoy. Kind of like a little movie theater. This is our library. One of our residents manages all the books, and they're allowed to take them out for as long as they'd like. Back through the lobby of the renovated mill building and into the bistro.
This is the bistro. The bistro we have, it's our largest space. We do some entertainment. You can see we have a grand piano, and folks have play cards, and we have a social hour that takes place at the bar. We have a pool table. It's a really fun common area for folks. And then this is our dining room, which we do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all to all our residents. If you go upstairs, this is a little bit of a shot of the great architecture of the mill. We really enjoy this. Is kind of the centerpiece that we like to show off, the old mill styles. And looking down on our lobby, you can see the high ceilings and the brick and the metal. It's beautiful. So that's our lobby. You can see it looking from the lobby up to the beams. It's just my favorite part of the building. I love being close by it.
And now we'll show you what a one-bedroom apartment looks like.
Each apartment has a full kitchen with a refrigerator and stove. However, we also include 3 chef-prepared meals per day in our dining room. Each apartment is also equipped with its own thermostat, so you can adjust it to the temperature that makes you most comfortable. You don't have to worry about cable television or internet because we include both. We can provide furniture, but we encourage you to bring your own for that personal touch. The bedroom has its own spacious closet. Each apartment comes with its own private bathroom with a step-in shower.
And as we were getting ready for tonight and talking with Chris and Damaris and Nancy, we thought it might be interesting to hear from our executive director, Hillary. So she's going to talk a little bit about how we've handled the pandemic.
Some of the biggest changes during the pandemic were obviously mask wearing for everybody, having to implement several new infection control and sanitation policies, as well as limiting access to the community, and residents having to be isolative within the community. I think the greatest challenge for residents was having to restrict their access to family members and being out in the community. The staff, their main goal is to keep the residents safe, and we were very lucky to never have an outbreak, but I think the biggest challenge was ensuring that they were doing everything they could to keep the virus out of the building. One of the greatest moments was when we were able to resume visitation outside over the summer, as well as some fun things we did within the building to keep people's spirits up, such as delivering novelty ice creams room to room, or having show tunes in the hallways performed by staff, anything we could do to just brighten everybody's day. I'm most proud of keeping the building safe and not having an outbreak, and being able to brighten the residents' days in any way that we could. My hopes are that, senior living will continue to grow and be a safe place for people to age and retire in, that will continue to expand in our opening and be able to offer safe activities, safe ways to visit with family members, safe ways for people to get out into the community. I think as we learn more and more, we're able to do that, and our goal is to do as much as we can as safely as possible.
So as you can imagine, it's been quite a journey in senior living with the pandemic. And Hillary mentioned we've had to get pretty creative with entertainment. And that's actually been really fun. Some of us have, other talents, and we've been able to bring those to the table. We've had nurses doing haircuts, other folks that have like hair experience, have been jumping in, and so yeah, it's been.
I can't let it go. So I have another proposal. So I just sent it.
Are we good? Okay. So the last thing we wanted to share, we wanted to introduce you to one of our residents, and I'll just leave it at that.
I graduated from high school in 42. In October 42, I joined the Navy. I spent a little over 4 years in the Navy, in the South Pacific, I went through a lot. I went through all the Philippines, Okinawa, Iwo Jima, headed for the invasion of Japan. The war ended. They sent us into Shanghai. So I got a chance to spend some time in China and Shanghai. Come home. I was going to go to UNH, and I had to kill it. I couldn't get in. I had to wait a time. I met my bride and got married, raised 3 kids, worked 35 years with a telephone company, retired. Here I am. I come from a big family. There were 13 in my family. My dad had 9 boys. He used to brag about his baseball team. But when the youngest ones were old enough to play, the oldest ones didn't want nothing to do with us, So that took care of that. I made great friends. I have a very good dining partner. We get along great. And I got a terrific buddy here, my old bookend buddy, Tony. But I'm comfortable here. I feel very secure and, like I say, fortunate. My family feels very good. They feel that I'm in a place at my age, and it's, that if something goes wrong, I'm not alone, and there's somebody handy, and they have a lot of confidence in American House, and they feel very good. They think we've made a good decision, so, and I do too. I've been up to the equipment room on the 3rd floor, but usually every Monday I go to one of Jackie's classes for exercise, and I do. And the cold weather days that I couldn't get out, I would do a little walking, and just enough to get some exercise and keep moving. That old saying, use it or lose it. They put out the best breakfast in the world. My favorite meal.
What do you like for breakfast?
Oh, I like a bowl of cereal. Then I'll have a couple of eggs with bacon and maybe a lick in the promise of potato and 1 slice of toast and 2 cups of coffee.
Nice.
And I say, what a way to start the day. Oh, they're so patient. I say, I feel good, everything, thanks to you people. But I mean that I think I have no complaints. Like I said, I have a lot of confidence, and I feel very secure here, and comfortable. The house staff, Jay, the maintenance guy, he has so much patience with me. I've always got a problem either on this or that. Jake, he's right there to fix it, and I say, I don't want to be a nuisance. He said, hey, that's my job.
What would you tell them?
I would tell them to come down and interview, look at all, and tell them, I'm very pleased. I'm very comfortable here, and like I say, I would recommend it. I really would recommend it.
That's our Newell.
We love you.
We love our residents. You're not supposed to have favorites, so we won't say he's one of our favorites, but he warms our hearts for sure. So that's American House in a nutshell. I don't know if Chris wants to take over.
Great, thanks. Hey, is he 97 years old? I was trying to do the math.
I just do.
18, yeah.
Is he 90?
Well, he said he
must be
graduated from high school in
mid-90s.
1942.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right around there.
So you'd
So,
be 18,
wow.
26. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
Yeah.
He is really doing well.
Love his laugh.
Oh my gosh, it's contagious. Wondering if anybody had any questions for Christy or Pete.
I see one in the,
Raleigh?
Raleigh?
Yeah. Hey, Pete. Thanks, guys, for coming and bringing us up to speed and being a part of our community. one of the things that often used to happen before the pandemic was to host events. And I know that's it's important, and I'm wondering if you have any prognosis or what you'd be looking for in order for us to, or you to want to do that again.
Gosh, well, we certainly want to do that as soon as we can. That was one of my favorite parts about working here, was bringing community groups in, you know, BNI, the Bridge Group, but we're just following state guidelines. So really we're sort of at their beck and just waiting. It seems to change daily, you know, the new guidance. So it's hard to really predict when that will be able to happen. Right now, we're allowed to have scheduled visits with families to come in and see their loved ones that live here. So we're definitely not there yet with the public, but certainly anxious and excited to get to that point again.
We really wish we could have had this night. You know, this would be something we'd be doing in person, and we look forward to that day to do that again for sure.
Well, I do understand safety is the most important thing, but in the city of Keene, we're already making plans for June for restaurant grand reopenings and other places like that, reluctantly with backup dates. But it's, you know, just was, let us know if there's anything else that you're concerned about, because community contagion is a big thing, and as well too, but you know, feel free to reach out. I'm your ward counselor. So if you have any concerns about that, please feel free to reach out.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I was wondering if everyone at American House has been vaccinated. Did they all receive the vaccine?
Yeah, so we residents are about a little over 98% fully vaccinated, and staff members were around 70% at this point.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you been able to loosen up some of their restrictions, some of your residents?
Yeah, so before this phase, we were in a phase where we weren't allowed to have any family members in the building, and now we are. It has to be a scheduled visit, but we're at that point now where they can come in the building to meet.
I started about 6 weeks ago, Alan, and when my first week here, I was shocked. It was just, there was, you know, nobody was out. It was, I mean, I knew what was happening, obviously, but within a week or two, we were, you know, as we loosened a few restrictions and got folks back down in the dining room, it was just amazing how the morale and the, you know, just the feeling in the entire building, how it went up when we, you know, people started seeing people again, and that was great.
Hasn't the CDC recently released guidelines that if groups that are fully vaccinated 2 weeks after their second shot don't necessarily have to social distance or mask? Has that been passed to?
That may be for the general public. I'm not sure that it is for a residential care facility. We're sort of in a different category.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Healthcare.
I was wondering, how many, I may have missed this, how many residents do you have? And how many are like independent, and do you have assisted living and memory care? Kind of the breakdown there.
Yeah, yep. So we have around 100 residents. And I would say right at this moment, 2/3 to 3/4 of them are under assisted living, and the rest are under independent living. And that's, you know, it can change a little bit here and there. We don't have a secured memory care unit, but we do have a lot of folks with different types of dementia, Alzheimer's, folks who can benefit from reminders and medication management, and all of that. So that's sort of the general breakdown. And I don't know if people are familiar with the difference between assisted living and independent living, but here, our independent folks don't get any assistance from the nursing team, whereas in assisted living, they can get help with medications, showering, getting dressed, reminders, wound care even, and then other daily things like brushing teeth and hygiene and those sorts of things.
Christy and Pete, how has the pandemic affected your recruitment, incoming folks, things like that, essentially keeping your building full to capacity?
It's a good question. Yeah. So Pete just started with us fairly recently. So I can speak to that a little bit. We've seen, I would say, maybe a drop in the more independent folks that are looking, because we're a healthcare facility and have restrictions in place. Folks that are independent might not choose to move into a community like ours at this time because of those restrictions. Whereas folks needing a little more assistance in assisted living, who are needing that care, have been more likely to reach out and move in.
Yeah, and hopefully as we get more open and things hopefully get back to normal-ish, we'll see an increase of those folks who were interested and we've kept in touch with and just said, hey, we could do an in-person tour now instead of a virtual tour. As we get there's quite a few folks that we've kept in touch with and communicated with that are being patient and waiting for us. So hopefully that'll have a big impact on us as well.
I have a question. I heard you say, and I'm sorry if I missed this answer, I heard you say that you didn't have an outbreak. Just curious how your population was impacted with positive cases, and it sounds like you did well, but what does it look like? How'd you end up?
Yeah, so we've had a few cases here and there, never enough to have it be an outbreak. I don't know what the exact, Jolynn probably knows, I don't know the exact number for an outbreak, but Hillary, our executive director, runs a tight ship. So we wear masks all day when we're around our coworkers and residents. And then there are other precautions we take for new residents coming in. They get a COVID test and the result, until the result is negative, we have to wear full PPE around them, which would mean like a gown and gloves and, goggles like this and a mask. So I think just she's remained pretty strict about the rules and it's helped a lot.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
You said you have about 100 residents right now. What's the capacity that you have and what kind of waiting list do you have right now, or are there spaces open?
Yeah, so we have 109 apartments. Some of those 100 folks are couples. So that doesn't mean 100 apartments are filled. We're running around 80–85%, which is down from what we're used to. Before the pandemic, we were 95% and up for the 6.5 years that I've been here. So yeah, that's sort of where we're running right now.
How about hiring? How have you managed with filling your positions for care folks?
Yeah, I can't speak to that too much. I think Hillary would probably say it's been a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a challenge. And the folks that do come in are dedicated and they're here because they want to care for residents. If you're not dedicated, it doesn't work out very well here. We're kind of like a big, tight-knit family. So I think it's been a challenge. Yeah.
It's a challenge for everyone. I'm with Masiello Employment Services. I don't do medical staffing, which I know is its own challenge anytime, let alone during a pandemic. But hiring in general right now is a challenge. So you're not alone.
Thanks.
Not at all.
I was wondering, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was wondering if hi Jay Kahn, our senator there for New Hampshire. I was wondering what the state, just, we hear that there's so many issues with hiring in the nursing field, LPNs, licensed nurses, aides, and so forth. Are there any programs or what's happening?
Great, Nancy, thank you. So I have a bill for that, but actually Workforce Pathways Program, and it's trying to get alignment between employment security, which has our labor economist for the state, the community college system, which delivers many of the certification programs for job entry, and then the business and economic affairs folks who have the business developers, try to get them together with the CT, Secure Technical Education Centers, and the corrections institutions, because they now have second chance scholarships that people who have been in the criminal justice system, when they exit, they have access to now Pell Grants. And so they're fully eligible to, and the greatest social service program is help people get jobs. And so hopefully this system will take the 17,000 people that have left the workforce, the 28,000 people who are unemployed, and try to get them into programs with no cost, because that's the goal. Get them certified within 6 months or 26 weeks, which is within the threshold of an unemployment claim, and make them job ready in something that can scaffold into the workforce. Transferable credit, portable to multiple employers. All right, that's just an example. I mean, I think one of the other things we got to keep the eye on is we raised the Medicaid reimbursement rates over the last 2 years, 3.1%. Doesn't sound like a big, but it's the first one in since 2006, and that helps because I know many of your residents, particularly in the residential care portion of your business, they're going to be seeking reimbursement for some services. And anyway, that'll help. I think our wages in the state are a problem. I don't know, Julie, you can our job entry wages are tough to compete here in New Hampshire for labor force. So anything we can do to prop that up. And I know the CARES program and American Rescue programs are trying to provide those frontline workers with additional monthly stipends. So hopefully that's helping. Nancy, I think it's a big complicated problem. Here's the other thing, when it comes to healthcare, everybody in the country is short on healthcare staff. So it is a really competitive labor market.
Well, thank you, Jay. And I know Raleigh has his hand up too. So.
Thank you, Jay. And thank you for all you've done and you've been doing at the state level for that. I am aware that Kathy Gray runs a workforce task force with regards to focusing on the nursing staff, primarily on recruiting nursing. And I think I've seen the output in the minutes from that meeting. They're usually on Wednesdays, and I haven't been there. But Jay, are you as tight as closer to that than I am on Kathy Gray's workforce task force?
Yeah, the chamber is too. The chamber and I work together with Kathy to help launch that group. I mean, they're really motivated, and there's some great people from Maplewood and the community college system, because of the River Valley program. Even people from the Vermont Technical College come over and participate because they want to be part of the workforce solution. Keene State College, Gail Cushing comes from Applewood in Winchester. Anyway, I think the Jolynn, I think you've been there some of the time, and so it's a good. The biggest news there is that River Valley Community College is leading the licensed practical nurse certificate program, which was dropped by the community college system for a number of years, thinking that the RN was the gateway degree to helping the nursing shortage in the state. And it is an important credential, but it is not as gateway as the licensed nurse assistant, which has huge turnover rates. And then the LPN, which is a 1-year certificate program, maybe it takes 14 months, but the point is that it's a really affordable option to get coming in at the second rung. And actually, I maybe the employers here can talk about maybe they're giving scholarships to their LNAs to get this LPN certificate so that they can provide more direct care services in their facilities. But so I think that's really important. The River Valley is offering that both at the Keene with a January cohort, and then they've got a fall cohort that will launch again in Claremont. Thanks, Raleigh. I mean that. Kathy, my God, I don't know what we'll do with that. Eventually she will retire. And she has been a real force to keep the group going.
Get her before she leaves this summer, Jay.
We got to keep her active.
I think what's been difficult too, I have 3 sisters, all nurses. Thankfully, they take care of me. But what's been so difficult too is just the burnout, with the not enough staff, and then the struggle with the PPE for quite a while. So, and then a lot of the people my age, the nurses, my sister included, retiring. So there's going to be a huge group of nurses that are, as we probably all know, that are going to be retiring, and then there's going to be a gap. So what happens when we get to that point, and we're all going to get there if we live long enough, and hopefully there'll be people there who will be able to take care of us too, and not some robot. Mm-hmm. It's just a comment.
Valid concern. There was a point at which we needed 4,000 nurses in the state. I don't know that number has gone down a great deal. So anybody that that there are programs that are launching all the time. River Valley is also doing the LNA program, but there are a variety of programs in the region. Maybe somebody else knows where else they're offered.
Well, I think we've learned, if nothing else, that that these people that are on the front lines and doing this work are really, they are heroes, and we're so grateful for them. And I hope that, beyond the pandemic, that we continue to support our healthcare workers and our, first responders and all of that. So anyway, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Oh, Jolene, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily any questions. I really appreciated Christy and Pete's virtual tour. I've been there before. It's a gorgeous place, and Hillary and I are very close and good colleagues and friends too. So appreciate your time tonight. But yeah, I completely, we're going through the same things at Hillside Village, and just in keeping everyone safe and trying to figure out the best ways to reopen. But that's challenging because of staffing. I know one thing that we're experiencing in our independent living is we want to reopen our restaurants, but we just really don't have enough staff to do that right now. We've, lost some folks, in the middle of COVID. A lot of those are students, high school and college students, and some of them didn't want to work or their parents didn't want them to work. So we're really trying to ramp back up. But obviously the hardest part are the caregivers, the LNAs and LPNs, which we're constantly recruiting for. But a lot of people just decided when this all started that they weren't going to do this anymore. They were going to take a break or, stay home with the kids because they needed to, all those various reasons. So we're finding that the reopening process is actually harder than it was when we, had to make an immediate shutdown a year ago. How do you get back to all those systems, and how do you put good systems in place to still keep everyone safe? We've all been vaccinated. 100% of our residents have, and about 80% of our staff, but that doesn't mean that, we're immune to anything, and we have to realize that. So yeah, I share all of that, and it's great to have, different senior living communities in the area so that we can share what we've learned and best practices, and we do that all the time. So I'm very thankful for that. Thanks.
It's wonderful that you and Hillary are good friends. I think it kind of speaks to Keene and how Keene businesses work. We all kind of work together.
Exactly. Yeah, I learned that right away when I came to Keene. I thought, I don't know anybody 3 years ago, and that changes very quickly. Everyone is so welcoming and helpful. It doesn't matter if you're technically competition. That's not how it works, and we're all in this together, and we support one another. So yeah, I appreciate that as well.
So if nobody has anything else, we could do a raffle. I know Christy and Pete, you have a couple of things you want to mention what we're raffling tonight.
Yeah, so we are raffling a $25 gift card to Luca's restaurant and a $25 gift card to Machina Arts and Restaurant. These are not part of the Monadnock Restaurant Project, which is an awesome initiative. But these are just regular gift cards, so you don't have to spend 2 to 4 times the amount. They're just regular gift cards.
So Damaris is she's got everybody's, what do you have their names in a container? What are you doing, Damaris?
I just have a bunch of numbers, the same amount of people that are on the call. That's how many numbers I have. So basically I'm just going to put them in a jar, and whatever number you are on my participant list, that's who's going to win the prize. So if it's a staff or a Christy or Pete, we'll just do it again. Okay, so 6. So let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Betty Andrews.
Woo-hoo.
Yay, Betty!
Betty does have the luck of the Irish. She does.
So that's the first.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Betty, do you prefer Luca's or Machina?
I guess Luca's.
Perfect.
Okay. And the other one you said is Machina Art Bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So number 8 on my screen is Cynthia Westover.
Yay! Great, Cynthia. Very good, very good. And Christy and Pete, you said that for the Irish trivia, you would you'd kind of let us know or notify.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, we didn't
That's
know if we
great.
had enough time, so I didn't really organize.
That's fine.
I wasn't as organized as Damaris with her numbering system.
And yes, Damaris is very organized. We're lucky to have her. So
Yeah.
Christy, how will you get those gift certificates to Betty and Cindy? What's the best way?
Yeah,
What do you
so
think?
Betty, remind me, are you right in Keene?
Yes, I am.
So I'd be happy to drop it off to you,
Hmm.
or you could pick it up here.
Okay, well, why don't I email you and we'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll work it out. And then Cynthia,
Thank
do
you.
you have a preference, or we can email? I think you're on mute.
No problem. She's going to pick it up. I think I'm reading her lips.
I'm in Walpole, so I'll pick it up.
Okay, okay. Or we could
Thank
mail
you.
it. Yeah, if you're
Oh,
not in
that's a good
Keene,
idea too.
we could mail it too.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll connect over email.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
congrats.
great.
And I'll send an email out to the Brewbakers Cafe winner by Friday.
That's great. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And you know, one thing that we did skip over, unfortunately, is we just didn't have you all just introduce yourselves. And so maybe we could do that before we close and just say your name and what company you work for or you own, and what if you're having corned beef and cabbage tonight.
I know Dan's having some beer there.
So maybe we can start with Alan Stroshine.
Oh, thanks, Nancy. Alan Stroshine, financial advisor with Edward Jones, 151 West Street. And I won't know what I'm having for dinner until I go home to see what my wife has prepared.
Great. Thanks for coming, Alan. Derek, how about you?
Hi there, Derek Paul with Serve Pro of Cheshire County Fire Water Restoration. We're having, I believe we're having a Guinness beef stew tonight.
Whoa.
So you're all welcome. Swing on over.
All right.
Out in Swansea.
Yum.
Good to see everybody.
Good to
Thanks
see
for
you.
coming.
Thanks, Derek. And Scott.
Scott Ward, also financial advisor with Edward Jones. I am at 108 Main Street. I am having some corned beef dinner from the pub restaurant, and my wife and son are not. They get their own meals from there, but thank you.
Nice. Cindy?
I was lucky enough last night, my 89-year-old mother had my brother and my niece and Dave and I over for supper for corned beef dinner, and she made from scratch a cream pie that was so good.
Wow.
Dessert too.
And Cindy's the owner of Galloway
I'm the
Real
owner of
Estate.
Galloway Real Estate.
Yeah,
Sorry.
in Walpole. Yeah, thanks, Cindy.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Julie.
I'm Julie Pearson. I'm Director of Masiello Employment Services, and I don't love corned beef and cabbage. So my husband had it on Sunday night while I did a sleepover with my grandkids. So we're having cod tonight.
Yum.
Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you, Julie. Thank you. And Raleigh, you've got a few hats you wear.
Oh, hey, well, thank you. Yes, I'm your Keene City Councilor for Ward 1. I have been with Toastmasters for a number of years, and they have been members. I'm not sure if they're going to continue as well. And I'm not sure if the school district is also a member or not too, but I'm also on the school board. So as far as tonight, I think that my son is cooking, and I think he's making spaghetti, but it's with my wife's really premium homemade marinara sauce. And I'm gonna see if we have any Guinness left. And
Sounds
so
good.
that I can top it off. Thank you.
Well, Wednesday is Prince Spaghetti Day, so yeah, that's true too. And Dave Kirkpatrick. Hi, Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave Kirkpatrick. I'm the Executive Director at Cheshire TV here in Keene on Winter Street, right at the library. And I didn't grow up with corned beef and cabbage, but I'm sort of craving it. My problem is I've got a vegetarian and a wannabe at home milling around in my kitchen right now. So I suspect what I'm going to settle for is something green to celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
That's great. Thank you, Dave. I may have lost my sound.
Oh, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay. Jolene, could you introduce yourself again and tell us what you do at Hillside?
Sure. I'm Jolynn Witten. I'm the executive director at Hillside Village here in Keene. And so I'm with Dave tonight. I'm a pescatarian, so I don't no longer eat corned beef. So I know we're having asparagus as one of our items. So I'll be having something green and definitely a local craft beer from one of our great breweries in the area.
Nice. And Dan and his dog.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Milbauer. I work at McDowell in Peterborough. And this is Buster.
Aww.
Oh, he's
Buster
cute.
had some kibble for dinner already. This is my Murphy's Irish Stout. And I picked up some corned beef and cabbage from Noni's in downtown Peterborough earlier today. That's warming on the stove. So that's what I'm having. And my wife doesn't like corned beef, so she just picked up a pizza.
Sounds good.
Good call on the Murphys there, Dan. I don't know if you can see it there.
Oh, yes.
Go.
See,
Good.
yeah.
Good job.
Murphy's was more reasonable than Guinness at the store. So
And Betty Andrews.
I'm Betty Andrews of Betty Andrews Writing Services. I'm a freelance business writer and editor. And we had an early supper so I could be at this meeting, and it was a salad for me. And I guess my spinach was my green.
That's great. Thank you, Betty. And we thank you all for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. It's been tough too for the chamber because normally, we have our in-person events, but with the pandemic, we haven't been able to do those. So we really appreciate it when people take the time out of their day to support the virtual business after hours. And we look forward to having in-person events too. We're kind of taking it, one day at a time, but we have hopes that by the summer, we'll be able to have, at least some form of a in-person event. We also just want to let you know that we are going to have our golf event this year. It's going to be our regular golf event, no pandemic edition this year. It will be at Brentwood Golf Course. And that, if you save the date, you like to play golf, it's June 16th, which is a Wednesday. So we'll be sending out more information about that. And we all wish you a happy St. Patrick's Day. And how do you say it? Sláinte?
Sláinte.
Sláinte.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Here.